I guess I can talk to those who are on Mixlr while we wait for this YouTube thing to reset itself. Dan has to help me do that. Working on it. Thank you for your patience. Okay, he's saying it should be good. Just refresh, everyone. Okay, we live. All right, refresh. All right. Big shout out to Charting Man Dan for saving the day as always. All right, so we are looking at SPY here. SPY has made it to a 5-minute lower low. It is breaking that support of 287.21 that we had on pre-market. Our next support is 286.70. If we zoom out to the hourly, our next support is 286.46. That's our next hourly support. So we are now making it to hourly lower lows. So what the bulls wanted to see, G 1 million, is anyone else having problems or are y'all seeing my screen? Are you saying, yep, you can see my screen, or yep, it's video unavailable? Is everything okay? So frustrating, technical difficulties, I know. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Can y'all hear me? When I go to the Chart Guys link, it is fine. Let me hit play again. Okay, thanks, G 1 million. That should be working. It is working for me. All right, I'm just gonna have to keep going. So if the YouTube doesn't work, if YouTube doesn't work for you, please switch to Mixlr. My sincere apologies. It's working on my end and I don't know what else to do. So I'm gonna keep going, okay? For all of you who are on Mixlr, let's see how many people are on Mixlr. Yeah, we have some people on Mixlr. I'm gonna keep going. All right, let's just rip through this. All right, SPY on the hourly. That next support is that hourly, the next low at 286.46 and then 285.58. If we were to start to bounce from this, the most likely scenario today with this long pullback on the 15-minute is we would get some type of EQ. If we could get a decent bounce, we could get an EQ. If not, it could bear flag out. So those are the two scenarios that we're looking at for the rest of the day. I like, of course, y'all know I trade futures. So NASDAQ was a setup I posted in futures today. Just looking at the daily chart, we knew the most likely scenario was a lower high. So I had posted my short entry in this area here at 764.850. Looking at prior price action over here, what was support became resistance. So always look back at your historical price levels. Even if those price levels were negated and they were broken to the downside, doesn't mean they're not going to come into play again, because price has memory. So for those of you who took that short, congratulations. So I'm going to leave SPY here so we can see what's going on the 5 minute. And I have to remember y'all are on audio, so I need to verbalize things a little bit more versus saying just look here. So on the 5 minute, we've had the 12 EMA be resistance all day on SPY. So the 12 EMA continues to zap price. We need to get over 288.08 in SPY to have a change in character. All right, now let's go through our commodities. Nat gas USD. On the 4 hour, this is the pattern we've been watching. 212.4 is the low on Nat gas USD. And then we got a lower high at 2235. And now we're looking for that 4 hour higher low and for some tightening to happen on Nat gas USD. Your shorter term resistance is 2203 and then 2231. Your support 217.2 double bottom and then 217 double bottom. All right, threads. Let me go back. All right, so that is nat gas. Now US oil. US oil is seeing some weakness. Let's zoom out to the 4 hour for some clarity. 4 hour, we have an EQ right now on US oil. We have the lower low at 52.95, the lower high at 55.24, higher low at 53.55, and the bulls looks like they just made that lower high at 54.54. So our next support is 53.55 that needs to hold to see this 4 hour EQ tighten. I did not realize oil was in this EQ. I am writing this down for the remainder of the day for a potential trade. Gold, congrats, gold bulls. It is looking like XAUUSD that we have a nice, beautiful 12-hour bull flag that is working on confirmation. Your next resistance is 15.55.33. And then after 15.55.33, man, we have to go back pretty far for the next resistance. It is in the 15.90.55. So the gold bulls are having their way with this chart because there's no true resistance nearby. So on the shorter term time frames, our 15-minute support is way down at 15.28.30. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a bear reversal candle right now on the 15 minutes. So just be cautious of that, bulls. Your resistance on the shorter term time frames is 15.49.28 and 15.55.33. Now that I zoom into the 15-minute, gold may be a short here for a temporary top to be set, and we would still be looking for a higher low. I don't know if y'all have had issues with TradingView the last couple of days, but I sure have. It has been very wonky for me. Okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin bulls had a little bit of a bull move and then a huge pullback. So it looks like we're tightening on the 4 hour for Bitcoin. We have support at 10,021, then 9,805.80. We have resistance at 10,418 and 10,675. Okay, so that's all for my general coverage. Now we're going to go to some specific tickers. Let's go to CGC, which is getting the T total, you know what, beat out of it. Dan posted earlier, potential 4 hour wedge. It is still in that wedge. Daily support is $20.99. That's $20.99. That is the next support we have after it's just breaking down. Daily RSI is 24, weekly RSI 26. Monthly RSI is the only RSI not oversold. So definitely very weak right here on CGC. I know most of you are looking for bottom fish, or you have been bottom fishing this. At this point, the only level we have is low of day, which is only 7 cents away. So the more cautious bulls will be waiting for at least a 5-minute trend change in order to get in and potentially bottom fish CGC. Really brutal out there. And Tilray as well. Tilray new lows. Our next support on Tilray is $24. even. So again, if you're going to bottom fish this, my best advice to you is just be very cautious, and it can go a lot lower than what you think it can go because there's no real support nearby. We got this waterfall on Tilray on the 5-minute with no bobble of support, and those are those extreme flushes that I like to trade for oversold bounces. So I'm definitely watching CGC and Tilray the rest of the day. So you could wait for that 5-minute trend change. The cautious bulls will wait and not try to catch these falling knives. OGI for Lima. Okay, so OGI, low of day must hold. We're right there at 411 with a double bottom. Our next support is $4, so that's pretty close by for a bottom fish. Our daily RSI is 23, and weekly RSI is not quite oversold. It's at 32. When I see this extreme fear, just to back up a little bit from charts, and I see the room, just morale completely down, I just remind myself this is the max capitulation. That doesn't mean I need to go buy every marijuana stock, but you definitely want to be buying when there's blood in the street, and this is that moment for me in marijuana. So I'm not saying this is a bottom. I'm definitely not that naive to call a bottom in anything, because it can always go a lot lower than what you think. But to me, I'm feeling more hopeful with marijuana than I ever have because of this max fear and the just true disdain and for marijuana in general in the room and how frustrated people are getting. So I'm definitely watching marijuana as my top play. Hopefully for September, we can get a turnaround. All right. OGI. Oh, wait, I need to go back to OGI for Lima. So 411, 412 is your support, and your resistance is a double top at 423. It makes it real clear. So 423 is a double top, 411 is a double bottom, and then you have that $4 support right underneath it. And when we do the zoom out game for volume, which y'all know I love to do, on the 15-minute, and we look over here at Friday, we look at Monday, and you look at this max bear volume, could this be max volume climax on OGI? It absolutely could be, but we need an hourly trend change for any type of bottom calling. But I do like OGI that it's beat up more than CGC and Tilray for a possible bottom fish, and I also like it because we have that $4 price support close by, and it's a lot closer than Tilray and CGC's support. So, and I'm just going to apologize one more time about the technical difficulties. I know it's frustrating. It's very frustrating for me too. Okay, so C-Web. C-Web looks to be going for this, okay, gap fill at 20.05. So I like to use horizontal rays that are dashed lines just to show me a gap so I can put it on my radar and make sure that it's in my crosshairs and peripheral vision, if you will. So if I'm trading this, I just know there's a magnet below me at 20.05 to be aware of. More cautious bulls will wait for a 5-minute trend change. Let's do the zoom out game on C-Web. 15-minute. Again, look at that max capitulation over here. So definitely looking climaxy on C-Web, but price is everything. A lot of times I went over this weekend in BYOC, if you caught it, that I mean, a lot of times we use RSI, we use volume, we use indicators, we use divergence to confirm our own bias about the direction we think a price is going. We can only trade what price is, not what we think. So if price breaks a support level, then we go short. Price is up at resistance, breaks resistance, we go long. We have to use price as our king, queen, guide, everything. EMAs give us the trend, and it gives us a nice visual, but these are lagging indicators. Volume's already happened. It has already happened. If we can use that for edge for the future, then great, but don't necessarily use it just to confirm your bias on a trade. Okay, SHOP. SHOP has been a raging bull. Cautious of this daily bearish reversal candle that's forming. 1 hour could still be a bull flag. So if we were to break this 403 level right here, the 403 level on SHOP, be cautious of a fake out because this could indeed be an hourly bull flag. So if we break 403 level without a lot of follow through, that could be confirmation in our other zoom out, our flag zoom out game, that this is a potential bull flag. So you have support right now at 403 and 401.25. You have resistance at 406.17 and 408.77. All right, where am I? Is that all the tickers? No, gains. MO. MO had the buyout. Oh, wow. What a sell the news. Okay, so I'm actually writing this down right now because I like to have examples of when things play out to remind me. If I'm holding MO, for example, and I come in today and I'm, oh, yay, excited about this Altria potential merger. This is a perfect chart of sell the news. They sold the news, and boy, did they sell it. So we are approaching oversold on the 15-minute. We are at 25 RSI on the 5-minute. At 15-minute, we're oversold. I'd be interested in this trade as a approaching oversold after a large bull move. So let's see if we have any levels to bottom fish. 45.58 was a level, and it double bottom there, and your next level is 45.49. So interesting, we're bouncing from that 45.58 level. I like this as a potential bottom fish here at MO. So your next resistance, especially with the distance away from the EMA, that waterfall effect of just sell it, wipe out the order book. So when you're going back up, you don't have that bid stacking above your head. So I'm going to paper trade this right here. 45.78 is where I said I liked it. So I'm just going to paper trade it right here for a long MO. In at 45.78 paper trade. Let's see how it works out. So trade like this for me, my stop is low of day and probably give it 10 cents wiggle room. And then my target would be the 12 EMA on the 5-minute, which is 46.63 area. That would be my target. Because typically when we go back and back test those EMAs, we get an initial rejection on the 5-minute, just something to be aware of. So that's kind of how I trade these oversold bounces, as I use EMAs as my guides for exits and or entries. If coming from top side down and you're back testing EMAs, I like to enter long. And then for shorts, when we go back up and we test those EMAs, that's where I like to exit my long bounces, when we're coming from the bottom side. Okay, let me keep my good eye on SPY. And I'm also going to keep MO up now and watch that trade. All right, interesting trend line on daily, weekly. Thanks for sharing, Care Machine. If you are not on YouTube Live and you're on Mixlr, you can go to our thread for live ticker request. And there is an awesome OGI weekly trend line that Kerr Machine is sharing. I hope I said that correctly. So yes, interesting trend line. A reminder of trend lines is it just gives us an additional edge. Price is still king and queen. All right, so because of my blunder on YouTube, I don't have a lot of ticker requests. So if y'all have any more, please put them in the thread and I will try to go over them and verbally explain what I'm seeing, because most of you don't have the visual. Okay, so we got 007, go over OSTK levels. Where would it get interesting for you for an entry on OSTK? We're up 20 cents on our MO paper trade, fam. I feel like we're all in this together. So, and we're over $46. Gains, great call out on MO. Really nice call out. Okay, OSTK, so longer term time frames. I'm going to zoom out to the daily. So on the daily, I know you can't see it, so I'm just going to verbally go over it. We got that higher high at 26.46. We got the lower low at 15.46. We got a lower high at 22.95. And now the bulls are attempting to establish that daily higher low at 16.53. They would love for that to stick on overstock. We've got an ugly bearish reversal candle today forming, so I would be cautious of bear flags on OSTK. So on the 4-hour, I'm zooming out right now. On the 4-hour, you could possibly target an entry and then use today's low of day, 1676, as a support level and as your stop for an entry here. But just remember you're going against a trend because we got lower highs, lower lows right now on, let's see, on the hourly, we are in a steady downtrend. So they need to break 1821 as your shorter term resistance in order to change the trend. High risk of getting stopped out, but you could use today's low as a possible entry, trying to time that daily higher low relative to 1546, which is just $1.50 away. All right, our MO trade is going well, y'all. It is 46.65. It still would be my target. So for those of you who can't see me, I have just switched to the 2-minute on MO, and then I'm going to watch it as it approaches the 2-minute 26 EMA, which is in 46 area, and see if it stalls out. And what do I mean by stall? I'm looking at price action and I'm looking at volume because bull volume is kind of slow on this bounce up. So we've got 40 cents to the upside now. That's a pretty good trade. Got 1%. All right, I'm going to stay on the thread request. Any other questions you have for me, please put them there. And if your ticker has changed since I covered it, or you want me to go in greater detail over something, please let me know. And by the way, I'm recording this, so you will be able to see the YouTube after the fact because I recorded this video. So if there's anything you want to see my screen on, stay tuned after I close up shop and I'll post a recording. Looking at CGC still getting tased on the 2-minute by the 12 EMA. Yep, sorry, Jay. Thanks, Lima, for helping me there. All right, BFF Cura. Cura is having a high of day test. Cura has earnings, is it today after close, I believe? It's soon. So Cura is testing high of day, 857 resistance. All right, let me go back to my thread. Cura, okay, 5 p.m. Thanks, Lima. Yep, Cura's a fat cow. I agree, a total fat cow. Inside joke there. So after high of day 857, we've got it's topping out with this double top of 858. It really needs to clear that, and then the next resistance would be 874. 5-minute supports are 840 and 821 on Cura. All right. Let's just take a look around the horn. UVXY, of course, is having a very strong day with SPY weakness. Is it forming a possible reversal candle here? The next resistance after high of day is 35.92 on UVXY, and your next support is 34.46 and 33.46. We have to see some relief bounce in SPY in order for UVXY bears to get any traction on pulling down UVXY. Okay, Tesla. Tesla didn't break the support pre-market, the second support of 213.95, and now it's trying to bounce. On the 4-hour, got tased at the 26 EMA. Let's see, I'm just going around to see if there's anything of interest. Our MO trade, y'all, we rocked it. We totally rocked that. I hope some of y'all took it for real. I like the risk to reward of that setup. All right, now my paper trade, I'm exiting half at 46.25 and letting the other half ride. That way it gives me a nice wiggle room, and that last half I can move my stop loss underneath the low of day for break even because now I have wiggle room. So that's why you see Dan do that all the time. Scale in, scale out, scale in, scale out. So nice trade. Okay. Are there any patterns on SPY besides this little bit of a channel? We have a little bit of a channel here on SPY. Kind of wedgy actually, that we can be watching. SPY 2-minute. I have not used that F007. I've never heard of it actually. JF Eller indicator. Haven't heard it. I have been reading a book, and if you're interested, I can put the name of the book again in community, but it's interesting how we all go searching for the Holy Grail, and it's a common thing that most traders go through, looking for that Holy Grail for indicators to find that one little trick that works for you consistently. And I know that price action will work consistently for everyone if we just use it. Okay, SPY's trying to break out of this little wedge right here. Watch your bulls. Watch your bearish positions, if in any. All right, Netflix is also trying to hold low of day double bottom. Netflix has a key support on this daily falling wedge that I've got my eye on. We got this 288 even. If it holds that, this may be a high risk reward entry for Netflix with just a $2 stop loss. So, okay. Yep. What is Stars thinking right now? Constellation Brands has to be pretty disappointed with their golden child of CGC right now. So CGC, next support. Let me make sure that there's just not another level. We do have a level at 2277. 2277 is the next support on CGC. Yep, Netflix is a little out of favor. All right. Anything else y'all have for me? I hate to wrap up this early, but I know that it's frustrating to do all this on Mixler, so I don't blame you for the lack of participation. Amazon, your next support after low of day is 1753.59. Okay, SPY just got whacked down again in this little wedge that I'm watching on the 2-minute. I'm going to post it in our thread so you can see what I'm looking at, because most of you can't see my screen. SPY 2-minute. I'm just kind of watching this. This is not a proper wedge. I was initially drawing it as a channel, but just something I am keeping my eye on. All right, we got profits locked in on our MO trade. We're still in the green, but it's pulling back now on us. Oil. Oil is attempting to hold that low for this 4-hour EQ to play out. CTST with a new 52-week low. Wow, what a slaughter on Tilray. And CGC. IIPR is holding up fairly well relative to all the other marijuana names. Let's look at IIPR. IIPR is attempting to change this 4-hour trend. It would like to. Hourly, we still have a lower high. Now it's trying to get this lower low relative to $100.41. Okay. SPY has fallen out of that wedge. Our next support is 286.46 and then 285.58. So eyes on 286.46 right here. Potential bottom fish, but if we're coming into that level with momentum, a high risk of getting stopped out. Yep, CGC, we have that level. of 2277. Excuse me, wait, let me back up. $22.77. That's the support approaching right now on CGC. All right. You know what I may do is I may go live again this week just to kind of make up for this lack of YouTube availability for everyone. So I'll see if we have a volatile day this week and y'all want some coverage. I will attempt to go live again to make up for today's snafu. Yep, this SPY EQ 283.47 is our low in this EQ that must hold in order for SPY to tighten up a little bit. All right, I'm just going to stay here for a little bit and make sure nobody else has any questions for me. Okay, how's MO? Tilray is dumping. They're throwing the baby out with the bathwater on Tilray. Tilray 5-minute RSI is 15-minute is 17. Hourly RSI 22. Netflix approaching that key support of 288. I don't think LC, I don't think that affected it. If you were just viewing it, I doubt it affected it. It was just a snafu of embedding. It's complicated to explain, but okay, if you were going to play CGC, what would you look for? Potential, what good signs for a trade coming up? Sure. We have that 2277 support, and then we'd also be looking for a vol climax. So if I scan out and I look at the 2-minute bear volume bars coming in, it's not huge relative to the prior bar, if that makes sense. I want to see an escalation of bear volume going up, max capitulation, and then I also want to see the price to move away from that 2-minute EMA, like in an extreme fashion. It's doing it right now. It's moving away from that EMA. So if we look at it on the 5-minute, it's doing it as well. So what I want to see is price really move away from EMA, because then I know that EMA acts as a magnet and it will go to meet price in the middle. So then I have a better chance of a bounce up to that EMA resistance, if that makes sense. So I would look for max capitulation, and I'm not seeing that yet. I'm not seeing a vol climax yet where everybody says, that's it, I'm done, I'm throwing it all away. And at max fear level is typically where we see buying opportunities. I don't see max fear. I see steady, slow, controlled selling right now. A flush of 23 and a hold of 2277, I think, could be an ideal entry in CGC. And then you keep that 2277 as your stop and you honor it, because you're definitely going against the grain right here. So I think this is max capitulation. Well, I shouldn't say max, but I'm looking for max capitulation. I want to see a volume bar larger than the volume bar that happened about an hour and a half ago on CGC. I want to see a bar bigger than that. So that volume bar was on the 2 minute was 162,000 shares on a 2 minute bar. I would love to see another 200,000 2 minute bar. Then I would know, okay, that's max. Now we could be looking for a bounce. But more cautious bulls are going to wait for a 5 minute trend change. A trend change doesn't mean just getting a higher high. You got to get the higher high and you got to get that higher low. And the only way to do that is to get two highs. So you get a lower high, higher low, then the higher high. So you want to make sure that you're not bear flagging out and you're just getting a weak bounce and then with continuation to the downside. So let's look at historical levels. We have bounced historically a 4-hour RSI at 23. We're at 26 now. So I'd love to see the 4-hour get a little bit more beat up. And also a hammer. I like to see wicks down. So some traders use the 3 wicks down approach. So then you get the 3 wicks down, 1, 2, 3 on the 5 minute. Then you know that's more consistent buying. Like right now, we only have one. That's the 2 minute. Let's look at the 5 minute. We have no wicks down on the 5 minute. We want to see buying. We need to see some wicks forming right here on the 5 minute. 3 wicks down is also a nice early sign of a potential reversal, and we're just not seeing it. They're not buying this dip. They're just selling into it. Anything else? Jules is pointing out Netflix hourly RSI is at 29. Okay. Y'all have anything else? I hope that helped 007. If you need any more specifics, let me know on how I would trade it. But wicks down, that's my favorite. First sign of a potential reversal. Okay, now we've got wick down right here on the 5 minute. We have one. So they're buying the dip. We have one wick. If we could get 3 5-minute candles with lower wicks, that would be an early sign of potential reversal. But cautious bulls are going to wait for the 5-minute trend change first. All right, fam, I'm going to wrap it up. We have 31 listeners. Thank y'all for tuning in on Mixlr and letting us have a show over here. If y'all don't have anything else for me, I'm going to wrap it up and I will post a recording in videos. All right. Well, I will see. Wait, I got one. Oh, no problem, 007. I'm glad it helped. Okay, wicks down, volume climax, distance from EMAs. Those are the 3 things I look for. All right, see you all in the room.